Hey everybody, this is Minion Soldier, and this is Ship Updates. Now, we've got some big news right off the bat, but there isn't much news this week. But there is some big news, and of course that has to do with the gamescom sale again, in which Jared spoke today on RTV and said that he had been asked to rearrange the booth to look like the bridge of an Idris. So that is kind of lending credence to the theory that the Idris might be revealed as flyable at Gamescom, / there could be a concept sale for the Argo. Now, in terms of a reveal, I mean, obviously this would be more or less the finalized version of the Idris for Squadron 42. I mean, there could be little touch-ups going into whenever we consider Star Citizen to be quote-unquote live, but this looks like the increasingly likely scenario that it will be, in fact, an Idris that is flyable, because we've been hearing about a flyable Idris going all the way back to February. So, I mean, at one point there was a debate, do we release it, don't we release it? And it seems to be that they are going to, in fact, release it. Of course, it's Gamescom. It's a big deal. You want a big reveal. You want something huge. And the Idris is obviously something that, I mean, apart from the fact that it is physically huge, it is a big deal. It is the first of the truly combat-oriented capital ships to come into the game. So that would be a big splash to make it Gamescom, to of course have that ship flyable, playable. It would be great. So it looks like that is going to be the outcome. Now, of course, the Polaris was an unlikely scenario, but it was a scenario that I was still more or less, I would have been very comfortable with. And I think my own wants and desires somewhat tainted my opinion on that, but still, an Idris is is big news. Now, of course, with the Idris being flight ready, the question remains, Idris flight ready sail? Or would it just end up being the Argo? Now, I do have a problem with the Argo, and not in so much that, will it be an Argo concept sale? But, I mean, the Argo is more or less a runabout that comes with the Idris. Is it really, a ship that is that exciting? You know what I mean? I can see the flight ready Idris scenario, but the Argo as a concept sale, I don't know. Maybe once again it's my personal opinion tainting how I view this, but I can't really see the Argo being the big sale. I mean, last year the big sale, of course, was the Glaive at the bargain price of $350. But I just can't see the Argo being the sale. I can't. It doesn't, I don't know. It just doesn't seem like that exciting of a ship, so I'm kind of hoping that it's going to be something else, something interesting. Xeon Volper, who knows? We'll have to wait and see. But we do have some other info, so let's move on. Now, unfortunately, the Carrick, as we had heard, a few episodes back, they were getting ready to put the Carrick into production. The Carrick is just about to start. And now it seems that Gurmuk is still working on the Caterpillar, so the Carrick has not started yet. Now, of course, Carrick owners will, of course, be disappointed by this, but if you feel the need to vent your frustration, you can always turn to the Herald owner community and ask them how they feel when, over a year ago, they were told that the Herald was going to be the next flight-ready ship. So, everyone gets a turn, being disappointed. So unfortunately, it seems that it's Carrick owners, but it doesn't mean that the Carrick is not going into production. It just means right now Gurmuk is helping work on the Caterpillar, and everyone else kind of making this big push to get Squadron 42 out the door it just seems that the Carrick is being slightly delayed, but it's not in a position where it seems that they're saying that it has been replaced in the ship production pipeline, and actual production date TBD. So not all bad, but not that great of news for Carrick owners. Now, of course, Caterpillar owners, I've got some good news. Next week, Elwyn Bachelor, if I'm pronouncing it correctly, I'm sorry if I'm not, is going to be appearing on RTV, and he will be answering a lot of Caterpillar questions. Now, of course, this week on ATV, we got a small preview of the habitation module, which we had already previously seen in some previously released shots, I believe some of which came with the Dragonfly sale, but there's also some in the subscriber area of the RSI website. We are going to be seeing, apparently next week, the cargo and engineering modules of the ship. Now, of course, that's not like the cargo module expansion, but the cargo module, like the actual area and the engineering area. Once again, things that we have actually technically already seen in stills, but we haven't really seen animated yet. So possibly in 2.5, though we don't have any features locked down yet. Caterpillar hangar ready. I mean, if you see the shots, I mean, I'm putting them up right here. The ship looks amazing. It looks like it is just leapt forward, but then again, you know, we've been hearing about the Caterpillar being worked on since almost last September. I think it was the first ship updates without Lisa Ohanian, where Randy Vasquez and Vasquez and Jared were looking at, you know, basically the internal layout of the Caterpillar, and now we're seeing the, you know, nearly the final product, at least hangar ready final product of that ship. So it seems that that's a likely scenario that in 2.5 we could have a hangar ready Caterpillar. And they also hinted at a flight ready ship, which I am thinking is going to be the Reliant. Not exactly a huge leap there. So Reliant owners, you will be flying your ship hopefully in 2.5, at least the Reliant Core version. Now, hopefully we will we will see possibly a Dragonfly as well. I mean, we saw an initial version of a flight ready Dragonfly last week, but none of it had been animated. It was still kind of gray boxed or white boxed. It was just basically the outline of a model and just an animated version of a guy just kind of sitting on a static model as it was flying through space, but the control jets were all animating and going off. So I don't know that it can quite be there yet, but we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to see what kind of artwork comes out over the next little while and to see if there's any kind of big reveals. So that is looking increasingly good that we will see the Dragonfly really soon, but 2.5 soon, I don't know. Now, of course, there is one other ship that I mentioned earlier, the Herald. Now, the Herald, we, of course, has had a troubled history. And we were told not too long ago, I think 210 for those again, or 210 for the developers, I believe it was, that the Herald would likely be the next hangar ready ship after the Caterpillar. So it doesn't look like the Herald's coming anytime soon, but we haven't heard any delays in regards to the Herald. So the idea that it's going to be something that's also going to be in Squadron 42 seems like it is very, very likely that the Herald and possibly the Caterpillar are both going to play some type of a part in Squadron 42, and that we are going to be seeing them this year for sure, and hopefully both flight ready this year for sure. But there really hasn't been anything any news to the contrary in regards to the Herald, so it still seems like it's moving forward, but obviously the history of that ship, if it's taught us anything, it's, don't hold your breath. And finally, we got just a little piece of info. 300i, Chris Smith will be working on the rework of the 300i, but that has not begun yet, and as to when that's going to begin, we really don't have an indication yet. So once again, it has been a short ship updates this week. Not too much info came out, but some stuff to at least think about, and hopefully Gamescom will be a big reveal, something really cool. We'll have to wait and see. Now, before I end things off, I do have to alert you guys to the fact that on the 22nd of July, I am actually flying out west to visit with family, and I won't be returning until the 27th or the 28th. I should probably actually know what dates I'm flying, but I do know I'm leaving on the 22nd, so it is likely that in those 2 weeks, well, it's not likely, it's almost a certainty that there's going to be nothing for ship updates for those 2 weeks. So I'm going to what I'm going to do is I'm going to pre-record two piracy shows for that week, or for those 2 weeks, and then put those up instead. But then again, it's going to be something of a content drought leading into Gamescom, so it's probably unintentionally but well timed. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the show this week, and thanks for watching.
Quantum travel initiated.